welcome to Pitside. Now, like I said, England dominating proceedings throughout this test match. Joe Root and Brook managed to put up that fantastic partnership. For Pakistan's perspective, they've already lost 6 wickets. England are looking for those 4 wickets. Abrar Ahmed, though, is still not feeling well, so he is still pretty much in the hospital. That's the update that we've got. So essentially, England might be just looking at getting those 3 wickets and registering this fantastic win in Pakistan. I've been joined by David Gower and Ramiz Raja. David, again, I think England would have slept really happy yesterday. It was the ideal day for them. Lots of records were broken. Overall, a fantastic day, and I think they'd be looking to finish things off rather quickly.
Well, yeah, they've done the bulk of the hard work already. It was an incredible day. I mean, so many records broken in the course of yesterday with the batting of Root and Brook. But even then, with that massive lead, with that brilliant batting performance, I think they would have been surprised at how many wickets fell so quickly in the final part of the day, because, I mean, people have talked about this third innings problem. And it's not just Pakistan, it can be others as well, but Pakistan seem to have this absolute mental block about batting for the second time in a match. But England bowled really well. I mean, they hit the right lengths, they worked out exactly where they needed to bowl. And of course, the combination of probably a bit of weariness, mental pressure, techniques we can talk about as well, everything added together meant that Pakistan had what I can only describe as a bit of a shocker.
Absolutely. A shocker it was, Ramiz, when you look at Pakistan's performance. I mean, the flattest of tracks, how do you explain this batting performance?
I think they need a psychologist, something to work them into a better situation and position, because right now they're struggling big time. It's not only the cricketing excellency that they're aspiring for, but it's the mental block that they've hit in the last 4 test matches especially. And the worst thing is that it's predictable. You know, anything in cricket, when it becomes that predictable, it becomes boring in a way and disappointing. And so the fans are disappointed. What they need to do is to maybe get up on the saddle, get up on the horse again, and make sure that they don't make this mistake again, or the mistakes that they've committed in the first test match, and get away from this through process, through learning, so that they put it right in the second test match.
All right, for England's perspective then, they needed lots of runs on this wicket, and they have their 2 stalwart batters who've done that for them. Harry Brook has done really well in Pakistan, but Joe Root, I mean, what an amazing day for him. He seemed extremely tired by the end, and why not? After scoring that many runs in Pakistan, over 250 runs, and the list of achievements continues to grow.
Well, yeah, it could take us a week and a half to get through the records that were broken. For someone like Joe Root, I mean, the simplest way to describe it is that apart from the obvious natural talent and a well-honed technique, he just loves batting. He keeps it simple. When you watch Joe Root at his best, there is a real rhythm to his batting, where all the movements seem beautifully coordinated, and that is the sign of a top-class batsman. And then you have to have this determination to carry on and carry on and carry on. The odd bit of luck now and again, yes, doesn't go amiss, the odd drop catch, but it is that sheer love of batting that drives him forward. And for him, he's now got something like 6 double hundreds in test matches. He's got more double hundreds in Asia. He's got double hundreds in every country in Asia as well. Just proves that he likes batting in this continent, in this part of the world. But it's just a question of skill and drive and, you know, the real love of batting.
All right, we're talking about Joe Root. Let's hear from the man of the moment himself. He spoke to Aruj Mumtaz yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're dealing with conditions that are still alien to us. We don't play in heat like this very often. There are different skills that you need to manage, like reverse swing, slightly different bounce to what you get back in the UK. So they're all things that you take into account before you come out here, and you know, previous experiences of playing in these conditions you want to utilise. And I feel like as a whole batting group, actually, we really took advantage of that. The way that we were able to score at such a good rate as we did previously, or the last trip that we were on here, has meant that there's very much a chance of a result in this game. And you know, we've still got a lot of hard work to do, but off the back of the way that we've played so far in this test match, we've got a real opportunity tomorrow if we get things right.
Yeah, what an incredible player. His ability to adjust in all kinds of conditions, Ramiz, when you look at all the great players of the world, that was one of the highlights. And that's what we see from Joe Root. He has mastered his skills everywhere around the world.
That's why he's a great player. Over 12,000 runs. Still, he wants to bat. And that was a great partnership. His qualities, there are many qualities. He's grounded. He's a good guy. He's a good team player. And then he can play well against spin, can play well against pace. He adjusted beautifully to the conditions. They're not easy. I mean, flat pitch and all, but the conditions were so aggressive. But he had to weather the storm. He had to go through the processes and just maintain his focus so well.
All right, another guy who's been rather focused in Pakistan is Harry Brook. I mean, we had him in our post-match studio as well. What a brilliant player he's turning out to be across all formats for England.
Well, I mean, it's still very early days in the Test career for Harry Brook, but I mean, if you want to give him a Pakistan passport and let him live here, he'll make thousands of runs for the next 10, 15 years. I mean, he came here 2 years ago and broke the record for the most runs in a 3-match series by an English player. Got about 460 runs off Ben. He's already into 300 plus in one innings with, I won't say he's going to bat again in this game, but 2 or 3 innings still to come in this series. And what he's done is just add, I mean, last time he was precocious, he was brilliant, he was quick scoring, but he's added that sort of Joe Root style hunger to his game. So not happy with 150, not happy with a double 100. He's gone and made his first triple 100 in Test matches here, which is just a very, very impressive effort.
Absolutely, and a testament to his fitness as well. He spoke about it, how he's in particular worked on his fitness and sort of really worked in that area to add longevity to his innings, as we saw yesterday. We'll take a short breather. When we are back, we'll be back with the pitch report with Amir Sohail. Well, we're here on day 5 of this Test match. It's been a beautiful batting wicket throughout this Test match that we've seen. Not much has happened for the bowlers apart from the odd crack here or there, but it's been rather good for batting. Is it going to behave any differently? Let's find out from Amir Sohail.
Oh, this is one stubborn pitch. From day one, it had a tilt towards the batters, and surprisingly, it had stayed firm. If you look at the pitch, the cracks have widened. It's abrasive in nature, but no grip for the fast bowlers. And if you're wondering why the Pakistani batters struggled in their second innings, it was because of the English fast bowlers hitting the length very hard, getting the ball to jump from good lengths, and they exploited the weaknesses in Pakistani batters' technique. And that's why they're in a very good position in this Test match. And I think this pitch will remain firm. Yes, occasional delivery might jump or grip. Other than that, still, it has a tilt towards the batsman.
Still a very good batting pitch then, David. Very stubborn pitch, as Amir said.
Yes, that was a great word to use, wasn't it? Because there was a suspicion at the start of the game that it would do what it should do, which is start to just dust a little bit and help the spinners. But it stayed together. And these things, these cracks are always deceptive. It doesn't really matter how wide they go as long as they're still firm. And even if you've got cracks in the pitch, 99% of it is still very solid. But what England did well, I think, yesterday was just alter the length very gently, very slightly, push Pakistan on the back foot a bit, but then push the ball up. For instance, that first ball was a cracker from Wokes. It took Abdullah by surprise. But then for a lot of the rest of that session, it was exploiting what does tend to happen on any pitch, which is the bounce starts to get a little uneven. So some bounce a bit, some keep a bit low, and that makes it tough.
All right, that's what makes it tough, and I'm sure England will be looking to capitalise more on that by bowling those lengths in these conditions. Time for a short breather. When we are back, we've got more to talk about, so don't go anywhere. Back on pitch side, and we're talking about England versus Pakistan, how England have dominated this test. Pakistan, though, they've been rather lackluster, especially in their batting department in the second innings. It seems to have become, a problem that we've seen time and again now, Ramiz. It happened in the Bangladesh tests as well. It's happened now as well. And when you look at this track, there are no real demons. So the way the Pakistan team got out, what explains their mindset?
Negative, waiting for disaster to happen. What do they say? Rabbit in the headlights. You can use all kinds of terms. And I don't want to sound like a physics scientist, but what Shan Masood need to do now is to make sure that that dressing room doesn't implode or burst there's no collision, because a loss can get the ugly side out quite prominent, because fingers start pointing at each other. Who's to be blamed? Bowlers may say, why did you pick such a pitch? And they'll blame the batters, saying that, it was such a battable pitch. Why did you guys collapse? So, and Shan Masood has got to be the catalyst in making sure, so it's still a lot of cricket left in this series, that the dressing room environment doesn't get hurt, doesn't get hit by a loss which appears to be quite imminent.
A lot of questions on Babar Azam's form as well. He hasn't been able to score now in 17 innings. Now we know the quality of batsman that he is, but just his form, and when does it come to the point where the management decides that, okay, actually maybe he needs a bit of a breather, maybe he needs a bit of a break?
It's a good point. It's a good debating point. But you see, do you have a replacement for Babar Azam? I'm not too sure what is happening in the domestic circuit. This bit of freshness improve the overall psyche of the dugout. Yes, maybe. Babar Azam, I think he needs to answer this question himself. He's played a lot of cricket for Pakistan. He has aced every format. So leave it to Babar Azam. Let him decide what he wants to do. Pop him that question. Whether would you want to rest? Whether you want to take time off game and go somewhere else, maybe go to Murray or somewhere which is a bit nicer, amongst mountains, and reflect.
Does time apart help batters, David? If you're going through that patch where you just can't figure out your game.
Well, okay, let me just give you personal experience. I took a winter off once halfway through my career because I felt I needed a rest. That was my decision, and I went to selectors and said, look, can I have the winter off? In the middle of a series like this, the thing about someone like Babar is he'll be very proud as a Pakistan player, a former Pakistan captain, and whichever way you phrase it, it's mighty difficult. Whether you say, look, we think you need a break, or whether you say, would you like a break? It's still a big dent to your pride. Raising the topic might just sort of raise some fire within. Because the problem, even for the great players, even for the best players, is that confidence, when it goes missing, makes you half the player you should be, and you start to do little things wrong, and then it becomes a bad habit.
All right, so it is a tough question, but one that he has to answer at some point as well. We take a short breather, be back with all the live pictures, so don't go anywhere.